What's going on, guys? It's your boy Xtrick, and today's video is going to be a very different video than what I normally do. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Modern Warfare guns and what they're like in real life. There's a lot of guns in Modern Warfare that have weirdly stupid names because Activision or Infinity Ward can't name guns what they are in real life because of licensing issues. But first, if you guys like this video, there's obviously a bunch of guns in Modern Warfare, so today I'm just going to be focusing on the SMGs. If you guys like this video, please show your support by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, do what you gotta do. But I would love to make a video like this on like the assault rifles and the other guns in the game. I think it'd be super interesting because obviously, there's no Kilo in real life. There's no Gra in real life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And anyway, the post that actually sparked my interest in this, it was a post on Reddit. It was a screenshot of like Infinity Ward they posted when Season 4 first came out, advertising the Fennec, which is obviously based on the Vector in real life. And somebody commented and said, why couldn't you just name the Fennec the Vector? Was it a licensing issue? Could you not get the license to name it the Vector? And Chris, the company that actually makes the Vector, actually replied to this guy's comment and said, nope, there was no licensing issue. Infinity Ward just never reached out to us and asked. And we would have been totally fine with them naming it the Vector. So I thought that was pretty hilarious and pretty absurd. I guess maybe they just didn't even think to ask, but I thought that was pretty hilarious. So anyway, we're going to start off with the SMGs, and we're going to start off with the Fennec since we were already talking about it. So the Fennec in real life is called the Chris Vector, and it was developed by Chris USA as a super light, compact, and fast-firing SMG, which was first produced in 2009. So it's a fairly newer weapon that has been used widely in Bangladesh, Thailand, Panama, and it's growing in popularity. So what's really interesting is when you look at the fire rates. So the rate of fire in the game is 1,080 rounds per minute, or RPM, which makes it the fastest firing full auto gun in the game. However, in real life, it actually fires even faster than this at 1,200 rounds per minute. And the prototype for the Vector fired even faster than that at 1,500 rounds per minute, which is just insane. The Vector was later adapted to have bigger barrels to decrease muzzle climb and grips and sights, to soak up the recoil of the gun with added weight. The Vector can be chambered in 9mm with 10, 17, 19, and 33 round magazines, or in 45 caliber, which is what the one is in the game, with 10 to 13 round magazines, as opposed to the game's 45 caliber 25 or 40 round drum mag. And in real life, the 45 caliber Vector could also be modified to use the Glock 21's 25 to 30 round extended mags, which were 45 caliber. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Next, we're going to be moving on to the AUG, which now we're going to go in order, and it's really interesting because the AUG in Modern Warfare at base is an SMG, and it obviously can be converted to an assault rifle, but originally it was an assault rifle, and the full name is the Steyr AUG, and the AUG stands for Army Universal Gewehr, and it was created by an Austrian assault rifle company in 1978, and is still used today in Austria and Argentina, and by special counter-terrorist units and German police. It's very, very popular and used almost all over the world for military and law enforcement purposes. The fire rate in real life is 680 rounds per minute with the 5.56 NATO assault rifle rounds, and 750 rounds per minute with the 9x19mm Parabellum rounds, which would be the SMG adaptation. And in the game, this is completely identical to the fire rates. So like I was saying, they do have an SMG version of the AUG in real life with 9mm ammo, but normally it's used as an assault rifle. However, if you guys remember back to Modern Warfare 2, They also had the AUG in Modern Warfare 2 as an LMG, and it was called the AUG HBAR, which the HBAR stands for Heavy Barrel Assault Rifle. And this is also a version of the AUG in real life that is chambered with 5.56 NATO and comes with an even longer barrel than the assault rifle AUG already has and a higher zoomed optic. It could also be chambered with 300 Blackout, which, if I do a video on the assault rifles, the M13 in this game can be chambered with 300 Blackout, which the 300 Blackout in real life is a lower velocity subsonic ammo, meaning that when you shoot it, it doesn't break the sound barrier, so it's quieter than 5.56 would be. Next we have the P90, which is the FN P90 in real life. It's created by FN Herstal, a Belgium company, and it's FN's PDW, or personal defense weapon. And it's been in service from 1991 to the present, and the 90 in P90 stands for the year that it was done being designed. And it's used by Austrian Special Forces, Belgium Special Forces, Peruvian law enforcement, United States SWAT teams, and military. It's very widely used and very popular, and the fire rate in real life is 900 rounds per minute with a 50 round box magazine of FN 57 by 28mm. In game, the fire rate is completely identical. And it was basically designed as a low recoil, high ammo capacity, compact SMG for many different situations and uses. Next we have one of people's favorite and arguably one of the best guns in the game even after the nerf, the MP5, which in real life is the Heckler & Koch MP5 or H&K. It was developed by H&K in 1960 in Germany, so it's been around for a very long time. And the MP in MP5 in German stands for Maschinenpistol, so you know, small machine gun. And there's actually over 100 different versions of the MP5 today. It's been used in over 15 different armed conflicts around the world, and like I was saying, there's many different types. There's the just standard SMG MP5, there's the machine pistol MP5, which is the MP5K, there's a semi-auto carbine version of the MP5, which is the MP5 SF, and then of course you have the popular integrated suppressed barrel MP5 SD, and many others. The MP5 can be chambered in 9x9mm parabellum, which is most common, 10mm, like the 10mm mags in the game, 7.62, 357, and 40 caliber. Now what's interesting is I looked into the 10mm rounds in real life and how those are used in the MP5, and apparently the 10mm version of the MP5 has actually been discontinued since 2000 because it just had a lot of problems. The rate of fire in the game is 820 rounds per minute, 810 rounds per minute for the 10mm rounds, and in real life it has a fire rate of 700 to 850 rounds per minute depending on the type. So pretty similar to real life. And the Uzi is called the Uzi. It's a submachine gun that was designed in Israel, and it was basically designed to be kind of like a submachine gun machine pistol hybrid, with many different companies making their own versions of it, and it's been in service since about 1954, so even before the MP5. It's been used and is still used in many different countries by military, law enforcement, SWAT, and even terrorist organizations. Now for real life, the fire rates differ from the variants, so the normal Uzi, like the one in the game, has a fire rate of 600 rounds per minute. The mini Uzi has a fire rate of 950 rounds per minute, and the micro Uzi has a fire rate of 1200 rounds per minute. In game, the fire rate though is 600 rounds per minute with both of the ammo types, because if you guys remember, they added another kind of ammo to the Uzi after the game came out, which I will talk about in a second. So the Uzi can be chambered in 9x19mm parabellum ammo with 25 to 50 round mags, and I looked into the 41 Action Express ammo, which is the special ammo that you can get for it in the game, and it normally just comes in 10 round magazines, but it can also be kitted in real life for 45 caliber ammo with a 22 round magazine. And the 41 Action Express ammo in real life was developed in the US for law enforcement use, and it's pretty much mainly to be used like in a semi-auto Uzi. Next is the PP19 Bizon, which in real life is called the PP19 Bizon. And this is probably one of the more interesting ones that I researched, because the PP Bizon originates from Russia, and it was basically Russia's SMG. And it was developed in 1993, and what's really interesting, it was developed by the son of the guy who created the AK-47, and another guy on the development team was the son of the guy that created the Dragunov. So pretty interesting. That's probably why it's pretty easy to tell what guns are Russian just from the sights and what they look like and the kind of ammo they use. And the PP Bizon has mainly been used by Russian and Vietnamese forces. It's chambered in 9x19mm Parabellum. It's also chambered in 9x18mm Makarov 380 ASP, 7.62x25mm, and the fire rates differ depending on what kind of ammo it has in real life, from 650 to 700 rounds per minute. And in real life, the 64 round mag is the 9x18mm rounds, and the 53 round mag is the 9x19mm Parabellum. I didn't find anything about an 84 round mag, but there's a lot of different magazine sizes for the PP Bizon, so that probably exists. And in-game, the fire rate is 650 rounds per minute, so the same fire rate as the 9mm ammo is in real life, which is pretty realistic. Next we have another fan favorite gun, the MP7, which is the Heckler & Koch MP7. So it's created by the same company that developed the MP5. So it has German origin, and it's an SMG that's been in service from 1999 to the present. It's been used by over 20 different countries in 5 different armed conflicts, including the Iraq War. It's chambered in 4.6 by 30mm in 20, 30, and 40 round mags. And the fire rate of the MP7 in real life and the MP7 in Modern Warfare are identical at 950 rounds per minute. Now what's really interesting about the MP7 is it was actually developed to be a rival of the FNP90 because it has a slightly faster fire rate, and the ammo, the 4.6 by 30mm ammo, is exclusive to the MP7, and it was designed for lower recoil. Next we have the Striker 45. Now a lot of people look at the Striker 45 and say, oh, that's the UMP 45, obviously, but actually the Striker 45 isn't based off of the UMP 45 directly. It's actually based off of another gun, the LWRC SMG 45. And I think you guys will understand if you the LWRC SMG 45 and look at the Striker, it looks identical. But if you look up the UMP 45 and look at it, there's some differences. But the SMG 45 was created by LWRC, which stands for Land Warfare Resource Corporation, founded in 1999, but the SMG-45 was introduced in 2015, so it's definitely on the newer end of weapons. And it was basically created as a high-powered, compact, and accurate SMG with a similar design to the Heckler & Koch UMP-45, which was developed as a lighter and cheaper successor of the MP5. Now, with the fire rate, it's kind of weird because the SMG-45 right now only comes in semi-automatic versions, but you can compare the Striker 45 fire rate to the UMP 45 fire rate, since the UMP 45 and the SMG 45 are so similar. So the UMP 45 in real life has a 600 round per minute fire rate with 45 caliber ammo and 700 round per minute fire rate with 9mm ammo. So in game, the Striker 45 with the 2 burst ammo or full auto has a 600 round per minute fire rate. Both of these ammo conversions are 45 caliber, it's just the 2 burst has hollow points. So that is very realistic. It's the same as the UMP-45's fire rate with 45 round ammo in real life. Last but not least, we have the brand new SMG that just came out in Season 5 a few days ago, and that is the ISO. And the ISO's real life counterpart is the Brugger and Thomet APC9. It was developed in 2010 in Switzerland, and the APC in the gun's name stands for Advanced Police Carbine. It's used mainly by various Swiss law enforcement and law enforcement agencies in Europe and military police, as well as US personal security detachments, and it's growing very rapidly in popularity. It's chambered in 9x19mm parabellum, as well as 40 caliber and 10mm and 45 caliber. The 9mm ammo usually comes with 15 to 30 round mags and 12 to 25 round mags for the higher calibers. But in the game, the ISO is only 9mm with 20, 30, and 50 round mags. So when you compare the fire rates, it's actually really interesting because in game, the ISO has 875 round per minute fire rate. However, the APC9 in real life has a fire rate of 1080 rounds per minute, over 200 rounds per minute faster than the ISO shoots in game. And so if they modeled the ISO more directly after the APC9, it would actually perform more like the Vector with better range. So I'm guessing that's why they decreased the fire rate and tried to go for more of an accuracy and range weapon. In real life, the APC9 comes with a similar stock to the UMP-45, and there's variations of the APC9 that have integrated suppressors, just like the ISO has in-game. And overall, it's just a fairly new gun that seems to be growing in popularity very rapidly, and it could end up being a rival to the UMP-45 and the P90. Anyway guys, that is all for the video. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you found this interesting. If you did, make sure to show your support by liking and subscribing and commenting and sharing. Maybe next time we will do the assault rifles, and I just really hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's completely different from what I normally do. So make sure to give me your opinions, tell me what you think, tell me if I messed anything up or got anything wrong if you're a super gung-ho gun person. I'm just really interested to hear your guys' opinions. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Xric, and I'm out. Later.